So, ready to dig into this whole dog food controversy?
Let's do it. Should be interesting.
It's grain-free dog food in DCM, right?
Right, yeah. Canine Dilated Cardiomyopathy.
Yeah.
Big, long, scary word.
It is a big word. And I think a lot of people, when they saw those headlines back in 2018 from the FDA, everybody got a little nervous.
Oh, yeah.
I know I did. A little bit.
Yeah, and it really does makes you really think twice about what you're putting in your dog's bowl.
Absolutely.
Like, am I harming my dog by, trying to make what I think is a healthier choice? Exactly.
And it kind of felt like everything that we thought we knew got flipped on its head.
Yeah, and those headlines, they always miss those nuances.
Yep.
They grab you, And it all really started, the kind of initial spark was that 2018 report from Dr. Lisa Freeman at Tufts University.
I vaguely remember that. So what was the gist of that?
Well, she had noticed this rise in DCM cases, and not just in breeds that are, kind of known to be susceptible to it.
Right.
A lot of the dogs that were in her study were eating, you guessed it, grain-free diets.
Okay. So that's a pretty big deal.
It is, but it's one of those things where it's like, correlation does not equal causation.
Right.
Just because those dogs were eating grain-free diets doesn't necessarily mean that that's what caused the DCM, but it's definitely something to look into.
Yeah. So then the FDA decided to investigate. Has anything really come of that?
It's been years now, and they haven't issued any, definitive regulations about grain-free diets and DCM.
Okay.
Their stance right now is that more research is needed, which I know for a lot of people can be kind of frustrating.
Well, yeah, because it leaves you in limbo a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do seem to remember some legal drama surrounding all of this.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So even though there wasn't a definitive link, there were still some lawsuits.
Yeah. And this is where it gets, most people don't like to hear about the law because it can get very complicated very quickly.
Sure.
But there's a class action lawsuit against Hill's Pet Nutrition, the makers of Science Diet.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the flip side, there's also a lawsuit against Diamond Pet Foods, who makes that very popular Taste of the Wild, which is a grain-free brand. And so it's like everybody's pointing fingers, but nobody really has any conclusive evidence.
Yeah, that's really tough as a pet owner. You're just trying to do the right thing, and it's really confusing.
It is, and that's why we're doing this deep dive. We want to try to sift through all this noise and really help you understand, what the science actually says.
And I'm guessing by science you mean we're going a little bit beyond Dr. Freeman's 2018 report?
Exactly. Yeah, we're going to look at something a little bit more recent. We're going to look at this 2023 study from BSM Partners.
Okay.
And this is a group they're really well known for their unbiased approach to pet food research.
Okay.
They're like the fact checkers.
Okay, I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
So BSM Partners, you said, they're kind of the gold standard when it comes to unbiased research in this area.
Yeah, what really sets them apart is that they don't take any funding from these pet food companies.
Oh, wow.
So they're not beholden to anybody, know?
Right.
They can really just call it like they see it.
I like it.
And their whole thing is just, let's look at the science.
Okay.
Let's see what's really going on. And so they did this big study in 2023.
Okay.
That was published in the Journal of Animal Science. And basically what they found was that DCM is way more complicated than just, grain-free equals bad.
Okay, that's good to know.
Right.
Because it did always seem a little bit oversimplified.
Right.
To me, anyway.
There are a lot of other factors that go into it.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Well, genetics, for one.
Okay, that makes sense.
Just like in humans, a dog's genes can play a huge role in, are they predisposed to certain conditions?
Right. And we know that, Dobermans, boxers,
exactly,
they're more likely to get it.
Exactly. And so and they found that, even with all this focus on diet and everything, genetics are still
the number one.
Yeah, the biggest factor.
Okay. So it's not so much, what's in the food bowl as maybe their breed and, what they're predisposed to.
Exactly. And, think about it like a pie chart.
Okay.
Genetics is going to be a big chunk of that.
Right.
Diet might be a sliver. And then you've got other factors that are going to fill in the rest.
Okay. I like that visual. So it's not one thing. It's a combination of a lot of different things potentially.
Right. Exactly. And what's really interesting is that they found that even though sales of grain-free pet food have skyrocketed.
Yeah, they have.
We're talking 500% increase in recent years. The actual number of DCM cases has stayed pretty much the same.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
So more dogs are eating it, but it's not necessarily, you know what I mean?
It doesn't track.
It doesn't track.
It doesn't track with the hype, right?
Right.
So that's why this research is so important.
Okay.
Because it's like, whoa, hold on a second.
Right.
Let's all take a step back.
Interesting.
And really look at this. Now, that doesn't mean to say that diet doesn't play a role, but
It's more nuanced.
It's more nuanced, yeah.
Than we thought. Okay, what about these pulses that I keep hearing about?
The pulses, yeah.
The peas, the lentils.
Yeah.
Are they bad or not?
That is the million-dollar question. And the answer is we don't really know yet.
Okay.
There's been some research. Some of it, points to pulses potentially being a problem for some dogs.
Okay.
But it's not conclusive. So more research is definitely needed.
So basically everything we thought we knew about this is wrong.
Pretty much, yeah. No, but it's, it's one of those things where it's great that we're moving away from this sort of black and white thinking.
Right.
And we're realizing that it's far more complex than that.
It is a lot more nuanced.
Yes, very much so.
Than we originally thought.
Yeah.
So I guess this is where having a good relationship with your vet really comes in handy.
Absolutely. I mean, this is why you have a vet, right? Someone who knows your dog, knows their history,
right?
Knows, any sensitivities they might have, their breed, all of that.
Right.
That can help you navigate this crazy world of pet food.
Okay, so I'm feeling a little bit better about all of this.
Good.
But what's the takeaway for the average pet owner listening at home who's, like me, maybe freaking out a little bit?
I think the biggest takeaway is that there is no one-size-fits-all answer.
Okay.
It really is about, taking that personalized approach.
Okay.
Remembering that pie chart.
Right.
Genetics, diet, all these other factors. It's not as simple as these headlines make it seem.
Right.
Where it's just like, oh, this is the bad thing, and if you do this, your dog's going to be fine. It's just not, it's not like that.
So what about the FDA? I mean, are they going to step in and regulate any of this or give us some more guidelines?
They're still kind of saying that more research is needed, which is a little frustrating.
It is frustrating.
I get it. But they haven't, made any hard and fast rules about it yet.
Okay. So we're kind of at a holding pattern for now.
Yeah, for now. But that doesn't mean that you can't, this is where, again, having that good relationship with your vet.
Right.
Being able to talk to them about your concerns and ask them questions, Don't be afraid to come armed with information.
Right, and questions.
Exactly. And say like, hey, I read this study. What do you think about this? Or, what are your thoughts on this, for my dog?
Right. It's a team effort, like everything else with dogs.
Like everything else, yeah. And I think, the other big takeaway from all of this is that we really have to be, think critically about all of the information that's out there.
Yes.
Don't just take everything at face value.
Especially when it comes to your dog. All right, so question those headlines, do a little digging yourself, talk to your vet, and hopefully, we can all keep our furry friends healthy and happy.
Exactly. And you know what? It makes you wonder, what other conventional wisdom is out there about dogs or otherwise?
Right.
That could benefit from this kind of like...
a deeper dive.
Yeah, a deeper dive, a little bit more scrutiny.
A little healthy skepticism.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, thank you for joining me on this deep dive.
It's been fun.
It has been enlightening. And to everyone listening at home, stay curious, stay informed, and keep those tails wagging.